Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I also wanted to let you know that not only do I create content here on Class in the Glass, but I also stream content in my Twitch channel, Mr. Revan7. I play single-player games, multiplayer games, and I also do movie reviews and cartoon reviews as well. I also want to encourage you to check out my Patreon, Class in the Glass, where I offer audio commentaries, full reactions for movies, and also the ability to submit questions for my video casts and podcasts. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and enjoy the video. But now we have to get into this my Spider-Man talk, chat, but it's of the animated variety. We're talking about another scene by scene breakdown of Spider-Man the animated series, chat, episode 13, the finale of season 1 of the Spider-Man. And it's called The Day of the Chameleon. Odd that the Chameleon would be the last villain for a Spider-Man season, because he's typically, he's not one of the more popular villains, Chad. He's not like a Dr. Octopus or a Green Goblin or a Venom, the villains that people usually look to when it comes to Spider-Man, like in the comics. Like, he's kind of like he's down below, where a lot of people like reference him. I actually like the Chameleon. I love his power set. I like that he's a master of disguise. He uses deception and technology to fight against Spider-Man and, manipulate his allies. Like, I kind of like that because he's so different. I guess he's one of the few non-animal themed villains he has. Like, he kind of set himself apart, and I kind of like that. Same reason why I like Mysterio and things. And that was kind of cool. I like those guys that they have all this kind of like technology available to them to fight someone who has these incredible powers. Using manipulation and hypnotism and advanced technology. I always like that about both of them. I like when they teamed up, especially in the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series. They were always together, which is pretty cool. Even before Quentin Beck became Mysterio, it was neat. But chat, we're following the Chameleon right now, and this is probably the most badass version of the character we've gotten, because he is an international terrorist for hire. He goes around the world. He accepts buttloads of cash, chat. I mean, hawking big, thick wads of cash. And he just goes around and kills people for a living. That's all he does. He blows buildings up. He assassinates them. He doesn't want any world peace. He's against me. No, he wants anarchy. And as long as you're paying me, I'll deliver that anarchy to you in spades. And so, I mean, even though he's very dangerous, chat, he's one of the most wanted people in the world. And we're following. We don't know that we're following until this one moment, chat. Because we open up. We're at JFK Airport. People are landing. People are getting out of the plane, chat. They're in, I don't know, fucking. They're just about to leave the airport, getting their checks or something, or getting their credentials checked as they're leaving. And then we see these guys, these looks like mercenaries, decked out in these advanced armor and weaponry, chat, and they're brandishing these pistols and like, you! And they just stare at this one guy who just happens to be standing there. It's like, you're the Chameleon. He goes, whoa! And he just fucking takes off running, chat, because he is indeed the Chameleon. And instead of like using masks and things and like prosthetics and makeup, he actually has like this super belt, and he presses the super belt, chat, and by taking a picture with the belt, he's got that's a hard thing to do. It's like, fuck, I gotta get your face. He takes pictures of people's faces with his belt, chat, and then it instantly just transforms him into that person. And I think like I don't know, I think he has some type of, his face is fucked up. Like, it's not a mask, chat. I think he's completely white. He has like no nose, no eyebrows, no facial hair, probably no body hair either, chat. And I guess that just helps his metamorphosis process. But it's an interesting take on the character. I mean, hyper advanced technology to transform into these things. And probably is like, hey, for the sake of the editors, let's not fucking have him use masks and shit, because that's hard to draw. He has a button on the belt, and it presses, and he becomes different people. There you go, easy fucking peasy. So, chat, he's trying to get the fuck out of there. He's transforming into different people. But S.H.I.E.L.D., they're still on that son of a bitch. They still gotta get him, chat. And he transforms into this poor schmuck who's just going out to the helicopter, chat. He kills that man. He just snaps his neck, chat, takes a picture of him, and he goes out to good old the JFK helipad. And he sees this one bell. He's like, oh, what took you so long? He fucking throat punches that guy, chat. Throat caves in, choking to death. He tosses him out the helicopter. He's dead. He's writhing in pain. He's killed 2 people this episode so far, chat. So again, Chameleon, a fucking badass. Nick Fury does cameo in this, and I shall get to that part soon, Ro. And so these, no, they're S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. We don't know they're S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, but these mercenaries, they were pursuing Chameleon in New York City. They're having a helicopter battle, chat. But Chameleon, he might be a badass. He might be a master of disguise. But he sure as shit doesn't know how to fly a helicopter because he scrapes it on top of a building, chat. His tail gets all fucked up. Rotor off the tail falls over. And he's like, shit! And he crashes into a building. What I kind of like about this, chat, is that Chameleon, he never speaks like in his regular form, only when he becomes someone else. And so all the actors in Spider-Man supporting characters, they're the Chameleon. So like the voice actor for J. Jonah Jameson, Peter Parker, Glory Grant, Robbie Robertson, they are in turn like doing the voice of the Chameleon. It's kind of cool. It's like, oh, it's really neat. I like that. But he doesn't have a regular voice at all. It's, again, very inspired. That's why I think that he's kind of like a standout for this season, chat. They do a lot of interesting things with him, a lot of different things, and he's also a fucking threat. And it's not the same kind of fight scenes we've seen over and over and over again, where Spider-Man is just kicks someone and he webs them up. It's like, no, you gotta he's like, how the fuck am I gonna get a hold of this guy? He has to rely on his spice. He has to be a smart chat. He's gotta be pretty smart. He gotta use his intelligence, that good old Parker wit, to defeat the Chameleon. But Chameleon's like, fuck, and, you know, he crashes into a goddamn building, chat. And then who's there to save the day? It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's there, chat, and he gets on that helicopter. He opens it up. He's like, oh, the Chameleon looks, oh, shit, this guy's dead. Because he doesn't know it's a Chameleon, chat. He takes this guy out. He goes down to the level, the streets of New York. He lays him down, and he's like, don't worry, everybody, I'm here. And he's like, but guys, stay back. You gotta clear the road. That helicopter's going to explode. Thank God that no one's living in that building. How do you know that, Spider-Man? Apparently no one's living in that building, chat. And so he's about to go back up there and make sure the helicopter doesn't fall anybody, but it explodes, chat. Massive explosion. He's blown back. The people are blown back. And Chameleon, he fucking gets up and he just starts running. Spider-Man's like, wait, where are you going? He's like, fuck you! And it's like, well, that was me. I just saved your life. It was very weird. He doesn't understand what's going on. And then the mercenaries, they're looking down and they're like, damn it, he got away again. It's your fault, Spider-Man. You're to blame. But I saved him. He's so sad, chat. He's the Spider-Man. That's right. Chameleon might have inspired Decode Octopus. Oh, yeah, from Metal Gear Solid. I can see that. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. Kojima always taking things from other people. That's what he does, chat. That's what he does. I think he admits it, though. He admits it, which I appreciate. A lot of people just steal stuff. They never admit it, but he does, at least. He honors the people who he took it from. I think that's why Revolver also looks strikingly like John Carpenter. I think it's obvious. And so now, chat, we cut to the offices of the Daily Bugle. J. Jonah Jameson, he's in a hurry. Glory Grant, the first, a new take on Betty Grant, chat. Betty Grant. She's now Glory Grant. She is the secretary I think this is her first appearance in the show, to J. Jonah Jameson. She's like, hey, you got this big old party you got planning. You have the two representatives from the two countries that are not named who are signing their peace treaty. No one ever thought it would happen. And JJ goes, I know, this is a huge opportunity. Who would have thought in our lifetime these two people from these two countries would sign this peace treaty? A little weird, because they were like, we are not going to cause any controversy in this cartoon. There's a peace treaty. There are two countries. There are two guys in these countries. They are a hodgepodge of all ethnicities and cultures all into one. You cannot tell who these people are. They're like, we are going to, nope, no controversy. Fox not going to take us off the goddamn air. And that's what this whole big schwindig's going to be about, Chad. They're signing this peace treaty among these two countries. And JJ's like, I got to get my custom tux. And so he's leaving the office, chat. And all of a sudden, Peter's like, Mr. Jameson, I want to talk. And Jameson's like, I don't have time, Parker. And Peter's like, fuck yeah, you're going to make time for me, goddammit. And he gets in the elevator and he says, Mr. Jameson, listen, can I go ahead and join you at the UN to take a picture of the thing on the Daily Bugle's behalf? He's like, listen, Parker, you're a contract photographer. I have already got a guy, or he promised this guy, it's part of his living, to go ahead and take a picture. But Mr. Jameson, please, fuck that guy. Fuck him. I fucking take pictures of Spider-Man. Remember I took all those pictures of Spider-Man for you? And Jay goes, well, you did take all those pictures of Spider-Man for me. I do appreciate that. So can I join you? Can you please fire that guy and put me... Peter's being an asshole here, chap. But I get it. I mean, that's what you got to do in New York City, chap. I mean, he's got to take care of Aunt May. She's on death's door every other day. So I get it. I guess got to make that money. But he fucked over the photographer who works at the Daily Bugle. That was a big moment, chat, when the peace treaty between two countries we do not know of are about to sign it. Oh, it's a big deal. And JJ goes, well, since you took pictures of Spider-Man, I'll allow it, Peter. I'll let you do. Spider's like, yay! Or Peter's like, yay! Can't wait. And then, chat, while they're walking outside, who's there? It's the Chameleon. He's there, too. And he fucking presses a little beep, boops and bops and beeps on his little thing. And he turns into J. Jonah Jameson, and he just walks right inside the Daily Bugle. He just walks right in there, chat. Meanwhile, we're fucking following J. Jonah and Peter, and they're driving to the tailor shop for JJ. He's like, well, I gotta get you a suit, too, Peter. You gotta look good. You gotta look good for these people. They're signing the peace treaty between the two countries, between the two leaders, after all. And so the driver is like, that's not my driver. Who are you? And he parks in some alleyway, and he fucking throws a smoke bomb at him. A smoke bomb at Peter. And JJ, they get knocked out, chat. And they get transported somewhere. And Peter, he fucking is like, where the hell am I? He just wakes up, doesn't know where the hell he is. JJ's nowhere to be seen. He's in a little prison cell. He's like, well, fuck this. He gets out of there, chat. He breaks out, and he's in, like, I guess the vent. He's in the ventilation system. And he sees all these people that like training with this advanced weaponry and technology, and they're all decked out. He's like, what the hell is this? And he goes, like, oh, we get the fuck out of here. And so he kicks down like another vent, and he just fucking falls like 20 feet. He's like, whoa! Grabs there at the last minute. He is thousands upon thousands of feet above New York City, chat. He sees the New York City skyline. He's like, what the hell? We got a big old wide shot, chat. We're on a helicarrier. This is the debut of the helicarriers in the Spider-Man animated series. They will make more appearances later on. And he goes up there, chat. He crawls, like, what is this? Eventually, he goes to another grate. He sees through he peers through a chat, and he sees J. Jonah Jameson. And who's floating above him in a hover chair? It's goddamn Colonel Nick Fury, chat. And he's talking to JJ. And JJ's like, oh, Colonel Nick Fury, but you were killed years ago. He's like, I faked my death, J. Jonah Jameson. It was all a ruse by the government, so I could go after the most dangerous super criminals and international terrorists around the planet. And JJ goes, well, I mean, we published your obituary. It's like, oh, yes, I remember your obituary. I remember the picture that you use, which I'm sure is in your office right now. And I'm sure the Chameleon is not taking a picture of me right now to then use as a plot point later on in the movie. But look at this picture. You fucked up. You used the negative, or you reversed my eye patch. That wasn't me. That's you're a schlubby journalist, J. Jonah Jameson, but I need you for an important mission. He's like, what can I do, Colonel, sir? He's like, well, as we know, you have the two dignitaries, leaders from the two indiscriminate countries signing the peace treaty. But the fucking Chameleon's gonna show up there. Chameleon's gonna be there. He's like, Jay's like, no, who's the Chameleon? Well, let me tell you, J. Jonah Jameson. We see all these slideshows of he's an international criminal who's been on the loose for years. He's murdered thousands upon thousands of people using improvised explosive devices. He's an expert in assassination. He raised guerrilla armies. I mean, this guy's done all. He's a fucking Renaissance man of death. He's a Renaissance man. Did I call him Colonel Sanders? I call him that. I was just saying Colonel Sanders instead of Colonel Nick Fury. He legitimately thought I called him Colonel Nick Fury. That's funny. And so he's going to attack it. He's going to attack the two leaders of the two indiscriminate countries from signing the peace treaty. He's been hired to do so. JJ's like, that's terrible. It is. So what I need you to do is, I'm going to give you this little booper. And so you bop the booper when you think the Chameleon is about, because he can transform into anybody, man. He gets just a picture. He can transform into anyone. Then we cut to the office of J. Jonah Jameson, and the Chameleon's there. And he's just going through all the pictures going, boop, boop. He's just taking all the pictures, chat, transforming into fucking Peter Parker, transforming into Robbie Robinson, transforming into Glory Grant, transforming into some schmuck we never seen before. He's got them all, chat. And we cut back. Peter's like, whoa, this is Colonel Fury, this is nuts. But this is good on JJ, because even before all this stuff, the first question he asks is, what happened to Parker? What'd you do with Peter Parker? It's like, okay, so JJ does care. I think that was a nice little thing, because when Spider-Man, when Peter is traveling through the vent, he's like, what did they do with JJ? And he comes upon the grate, he peers in, and the first one, JJ's led in there, he says, hey, where is Peter Parker? So that was kind of a good move. I like that. So the Colonel's like, can you help us? JJ's like, I'll help you, sir. And I'll take you guys back now. And then, chat, we find JJ and Peter. They're back in the limo. And Peter's like, well, what was that all about? JJ's like, I can't talk to you about that, Parker. It's a national security. He's like, oh, shit. A lot of bad stuff. So then they go in there, Chad. They're going to enter the Daily Bugle. But the thing is, fucking J. Jonah Jameson is already in there. And he's talking to Glory. He's like, Glory Grant, please bring me all security details of the party at my apartment. And she goes, but I just gave those to you when you left. He says, yes, and I want them now. And she goes, fuck, fine, Jesus. And so she goes out there to get the details, chat. But then J. Jonah Jameson shows up, and fucking Kimmel's like, oh, shit. Transforms into Robbie Robinson. And so he goes in there, and he's like, oh, hello, JJ and Peter Parker. He's like, hi, Robbie, how you doing? And they're going to have a little discussion. And Glory Grant will hear your fucking details, Mr. Jameson, your security deals. He's like, well, you already gave me these before I left. She goes, I know, that's what I told you. I mean, she's raising her voice. She's like, well, you know, watch yourself. And then she just leaves. She storms out. And she's like, you ruined my goddamn day. He's like, what the hell? What's your problem? What's going on? Robbie's like, I have no idea. You don't need these, do you? He just takes them and leaves. And then Peter and JJ, they're having a conversation. And they're like, then they fucking get like, oh, Robbie's like, I gotta go get a call. And he leaves, chap. Then they get like a call from Robbie. And Robbie's like, don't worry, JJ, I'm gonna be right there. But you were just in the room. I wasn't in the room just now, JJ. What are you talking? He's like, oh my God, it's the Chameleon. And JJ, he bops the booper. He bops the booper. And he contacts Colonel Nick Fury and his assistant and all the other people. And he says, it's Robbie. It's Robbie Robinson. And they go and they fucking bust in the Daily Bugle chat. They're like, we need to find that man. And fucking Chameleon, he's just like, he's walking with these file sheets, having a good dull time, but oh, who does he bump into? Robbie Roberts. He's like, ooh, gotta skedaddle. And so I think he transforms into Peter Parker next, chat, and he goes in the elevator. Meanwhile, all the fucking of S.H.I.E.L.D., all the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they bust on in there. They fucking hit Robbie Robinson in the face, and they're holding him down. It's like, Jesus, this is too timely. This is not good. This is not good. Hold him down, Spider-Man. Spider-Man shows up. He's like, guys, it's the real Robbie Robinson. What are you doing? Clearly, he's turning himself into somebody else. And then, Chad, we see Peter Parker exiting the elevator. He's walking out. Chameleon's almost out, but then who shows up? Fucking Mary Jane. And she's like, Peter, how you doing? And fucking Chameleon's like, I don't know who you are. He's just like, how do I play this? How do I play this? And she goes, listen, Peter, look, could you please... I wanted to invite you to my play that I'm going to be doing this evening. Can you come? And fucking Chameleon, he sees like all the security guards coming down, and she's like, I'm going to cover my bases. He just fucking grabs MJ, and he just lays a big old smooch on them luscious red lips. He's just kissing her. And she's just like, hell yeah, let's fucking do it. She's all about chat. And he's just, bah! And she's like, whoa, what made you do that? How'd you know you let me, I'd let you kiss me? And he goes, I didn't. I just did it because I wanted to. And she goes, oh my God, that's so hot that you're talking down to me as a woman. And he's like, yep, and I'll see you at the play. And he fucking hightails it out of there, Chad. Peter Parker, I just realized Peter Parker must be the luckiest guy in the world. That's when I knew that I'd be able to kiss you. That's the line, but I was like, it's kind of shitty. She's like, everyone's like, whatever. And so she runs out of there, Chad. Or he runs out of there, and he expects that he's going to be at the play, but he's not. He's not. Meanwhile, they're planning the big old party at JJ's apartment. Chameleon got away. He's like, we got to be on extra guard now. Chameleon, he fucking easily gets in there, but he's like, they're going to be on the lookout for me, so I have to. Because they find out he clearly looked at all the images of all the Daily Bugle employees, so he can be anyone there. So we got to put a guy on every person, but. And Chameleon realizes this and says, okay, shit. So I got to transform myself into someone who is not a part of the Daily Bugle. And so he comes up with a whole fucking scheme where he infiltrates the goddamn place, chat. He fucks with, this gas valve, shuts out all the gas in the kitchen so they can't cook. And they're like, we got to send up the gas man. And so they send up the gas man, chat, to fix the gas valve. He goes up there's like, oh, someone busted it. He turns it around, and the Chameleon just fucking bludgeons him to death with a wrench, shed. He bludgeons that poor man, turns him over so he doesn't see the gooey bits, takes a picture of him, he transforms into the gas man. He goes out there, chat. He goes out there, and he's just about to attack the dignitaries. He sees them. But then Spider-Man realizes, but Peter's there too. He's like, wait a minute, my spider sense is going off. What the fuck? And holy shit, he knows it's the Chameleon. The Chameleon is the gas man. He goes after the gas man, chat, or attempts to. Meanwhile, Nick Fury, he's calling people at this point. He's like, I'm going to be there myself to take control of the situation. But Spider-Man loses the gas man in the crowd. And eventually, he goes out and he can't find him. And then Nick Fury's there and he's talking to his assistant. And he's like, oh, that's the thing too. Chameleon turns into fucking Spider-Man, chat. And everyone's blaming Spider-Man. Everyone's attacking Spider-Man as well. And they're like, everyone's shooting at him. And eventually... Nick Fury, he's talking to his assistant. He's there. He's like, yeah, Spider-Man is obviously the Chameleon. We got to take him out. He's like, goddamn it, and fucking J. Jonah Jameson. He's a menace. I told you. Even if it isn't real Spider-Man. And all of a sudden, Spider-Man shows up. And he's like, wait a minute. That's not Colonel Nick Fury. He's like, look, everyone, look. And they all tackle him. They don't give a shit. He's like, his eye patch. His eye patch is on the wrong side. Chameleon's like, oh, shit, what do you mean it's on the wrong side? I'm going to switch it. Is it okay? But then his number two, she likes, Wait, yeah, because he took a picture of the negative we referenced early in the episode, chat, where Colonel Nick Fury was complaining, yeah, your shitty newspaper messed up the image. It was on my wrong guy, and Chameleon used that photo to base his disguise on. And then the real Nick Fury shows up, that's the Chameleon! And then Chameleon goes, bah! And he fucking jumps in a helicopter, which he is not good he's not good with helicopters, chat. And he jumps in there, Spider-Man, like, he tries to web him, but he can't. And the guys they just fucking lay into this helicopter, chat. And they fucking, they put a whole bunch of holes into it with their laser guns. And it crashes into the depths of the murky Hudson River, chat. And they're like, well, I guess he's dead. Really? Maybe you should check out, no, why don't you check it? Why don't you check the fucking crash to see if he actually died, okay? Someone falls in the water, they rarely ever die. But he's out there. And I'm like, no, he's not going to bother anybody else. And then, Chad, we cut to fucking Mary Jane's play, and she's looking at the seat there, the seat that she saved for Peter. He's not there. She goes, I'm going to kill him. She's so mad at Peter Parker, Chad. And you would be. He promised her. But then, Chad, we cut to the day of the signing ceremony between the two leaders of the indiscriminate country. I don't know what the peace, what's the peace treaty? Is it because of a war? I mean, what is it? I don't know. So they're signing the shit of it, and JJ, he's sitting there, he's like, it's a good day. Everything worked out. And then who comes up behind him? It's Peter Parker. He's like, Peter, how'd you get in here? He's like, I have my ways, Mr. Jameson. Also here to take that picture, too. That's a big fucking camera, Peter. It's like, yeah, it's the best that money can buy. Money can buy. Wait a minute. Peter can't afford shit. He's poor. And he's about to take this picture, this giant camera, Chad. He's like, just gotta aim up the shot. Then all of a sudden, chat, Spider-Man breaks into the UN. He's like, hello, everyone, I'm here. And he goes right for Peter Parker. And right when Peter Parker takes the shot, chat, a big old laser beam shoots out of the thing. Shoots out of the lens. And almost kills the two leaders who are signing the peace treaty, or the part of the indiscriminate countries, chat. And he's like, that's not Peter Parker. And he just starts beating the shit out of the Chameleon, chat. And he fucks up his booper. The booper gets bopped, and Chameleon just very quickly changes into like multiple people. J. Jonah Jameson, Robbie Robertson, Colonel Nick Fury, Glory Grant, Peter Parker, all back and forth. And he's like, and his fucking short circuits, and he collapses, chat. And it's like, there you go, we got the real Chameleon. They book him, chat, and he's sent to prison. Probably has severe brain damage. His physiology is all fucked up, but he seems to be, we got him, though. He won't hurt anybody else anymore. Meanwhile, chat, Peter, he's at home with Aunt May. She goes, oh, Peter, welcome back. You did a good thing, Peter. You know, fuck Chameleon or some shit. And he's like, yeah, I did, Aunt May. But then he hears a knock on the door. And he opens that door. He's like, Mary Jane, how you doing? She fucking slaps him, chat. Bah! She's like, what the fuck? And she goes, that's for standing me up. And don't you ever kiss me like that again. She walks away, chat. She fucking struts. She's showing him, like, everything that you're missing now, Peter. He's like, what do you mean? What? I play? Oh, wait. No. It wasn't me. It was a supervillain Chameleon. He tried to attack the Peachy, but she's not having it, chat. And he's just chasing after her the entire time. And that's the end of Spider-Man, the Animated Series, Episode 13, The Day of the Chameleon. A long day it was, chat. But he got his comeuppance, and poor Peter Parker, his love life is still in the shitter. And that's the finale, too, of Season 1, chat. It was, the thing is, it was a very entertaining finale. I liked this episode a lot. It was really cool. I love this new interpretation of the Chameleon. I think he's great. He's a son of a bitch. He's an evil son of a bitch, chat. They did a lot of unique things with him here. And it's like, okay, I think it's good to like kind of reassess who that character is. Like, if I was writing the comics right now, like Spider-Man comics, I would love to do a Chameleon story. There's so many fun things you could do with him. Yeah, it's just me, chat. Chameleon used the long tongue in French. Oh, hell yeah, man. He's a man of the world. He's traveled quite a bit. It would make sense. She's like, now she's probably saying, hey, can you kiss me that one time when you see you wouldn't go to my play? MJ, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. She just falls in love with the Chameleon shit. Ooh, that'd be good. But there you go, guys. That was Spider-Man Episode 13.